We're still keeping our focus on the lingering petrol situation in the country, and joining us on the set is Mr. Solomon Edoja. He's a former member, House of Representatives, and also a member of the Governor Support Group of the APC.
Yes.
I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the show at this time. You've looked at how these developments have come up to this time. What's your assessment so far?
Well, first of all, compliments of the season and happy viewing. For me, I think what's happening now could have been avoided. In the sense that in the last 2 years, you notice that due to proper planning from the ministers of state, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, in the last 2 years we didn't have this petroleum crisis in our hands. Now it has come. Can it be avoided in future years? This fire brigade's approach, was it necessary? No. And so, Nigerians, we also owe it a duty that when we elected the government, we can't go home and sleep. We need to put them on their toes. When officers are saddled with responsibility and they are not doing that, we need to also put them on the toes. And it is the press that will help us out. I say this because if something was going well in the last 2 years and all of a sudden things are not going well, then somebody must take responsibility for that. And somebody has to be punished for that. Because this is a government that is, believes in discipline, believes in rule of law, but at the same time believes that people should not shirk their responsibility. How come that we never knew that December was going to come, and in December there will be more vehicular movement on our roads? And that assignment has somebody at the top of it, and that is the group managing director of the NNPC. So, I believe, these are my views anyway, that in future, all the stakeholders in that industry should put the officers who is in charge on their toes. Namely, DAPMAN and all of this. A few weeks ago, I think Pegasus also were threatening to go on strike. And when that didn't happen, they came through the back door. And this is happening to us.
You mean that this is a backdoor strike?
It is a backdoor strike. It's a backdoor strike, and if you watch, all of this, most of these people you see, they are all PDP members. They are out to frustrate this government, these depot owners that are selling in the night. I'm just coming from the village.
What has the business got to do with party politics? It
has, because the owners want, because elections are getting nearer, and anything they can do to bring down the APC government, they will do it. Because you use what you have.
Mr. Edoja, you cannot just come and begin to politicize what is currently happening, why the Nigerian people are suffering this case. What would you make of a situation where Nigerians are saying, if you go the way of deregulation, we'll be better off? Do you support that?
No. No. Tell me one item that has been deregulated that we are happy with. We deregulated the NEPA. Do you have light now? We deregulated, we said there is no more import of cement into this country. At that time, cement was 1,000 naira. As I speak, cement is 2,700.
So in whose best interest will it be?
It's even cheaper to import cement into Nigeria now than deregulate it.
In whose best interest will the deregulation regime be?
It's going to be we will create few billionaires again. And don't forget, government has a responsibility. Government, by section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution, says security and welfare. I give you one typical example. Nigeria has about 528,000 workers. Nigeria were going according to its pace. Nobody was subsidizing them. They paid their worker from the earnings they generate, but they were not able to cope. So if you have just liberalized that sector and asked people, other people to join them, to join, you know, MTN, Connect, whatever, it would have been better. But rather, government cannibalized Nigeria, threw away the 528,000 into the market. And what do we have in our hands today? Unemployment. Don't forget, unemployment has been, we now have a global village, has been imposed on us by this computer age we have now, where instead of employing 10 cashiers, you use counting machine to count. Instead of going to buy card to send during Christmas days and send cards, all those who are printing cards have lost business. You no longer send S-Mass card. So these are factors of unemployment that we need to think out of the box. Then coming back to this fuel situation, Before the last administration packed out of the villa, they approved 18 or thereabout refineries. How many of them has come on board? Not one. That is 6, 7 years down the line, not one. So what are we doing to curtail that kind of phenomenon, that kind of trend? More people, few refineries, I'm told, are going to come on board very soon. Not just the Dangote, because for me, even the Dangote, we will have to watch carefully, because it's the same person who is driving the cement industry, for which price is now outside the reach of the common man. So, but there are no small ones that are coming on board. Yes.
Yesterday, or not yesterday, we had a guest here who talked about the refineries that were licensed could not have worked because the system is still controlled. I mean, how do you expect, his words, he said, how do you expect me to set up a refinery and refine my products, and then you tell me how much to sell it, which may not be up to my cost price? So, and you're now saying that they have not worked. Have you looked at these other parameters as well?
Well, why will they not be able to sell? The crude is local. If you are manufacturing it local and you take away the extra cost of taking it to Europe and bringing it back, why will you not be able to sell at a rate that Nigerian can buy, that is cheaper? I'm just giving an analysis. I'm a businessman. You take this product, crude, to Europe, they refine it with added costs, they bring it back and they sell it. For us, it has been between 100 and 120, which is adjusted to 135 to 145. So if you take the cost away, cost of ferreting it to Europe and back away, certainly the petrol price in this country should be about 100 naira if it is produced locally. And we are not greedy with it, because that's a different kettle of fish. If you want to become billionaire overnight and hold Nigerian by the jugular, even if it land at one naira, they will sell it 300 naira. So that is the reason why government cannot just fold in hand, because government owe a duty. These private people don't owe it, they don't owe anybody any duty to employ you. They will only employ according to their need.
Of the how many barrels that are mined every day, Nigeria puts out about 2 million barrels, going by at least 2 million barrels, going by OPEC's cut.
Yes,
now, of that, 240,000 barrels is what's designated for local. Do you think the NNPC will be willing to sell more than that to the local refineries at local rate, not the international rate?
There's nothing like willing. Because what's the NNPC do? What's it doing with the business of importation? NNPC was never set up to import fuel. They were set up to regulate our refineries. And now the refineries are in their need of repairs and power, build new ones. So they don't have business, even in importation. And now they are forced to do it. And prices of the crude has gone up. International market price has gone up.
This is why I asked that question. When you said, how would the refineries not be able to operate? I mean, based on what the answer Mr. Lowry gave us, that the refineries cannot operate based on the fact that they cannot get crude at a reduced rate from the international rate. For them to sell, to refine and sell at a cheaper rate for Nigerians to consume.
Are we supposed to buy crude from the international markets if we have our own crude here? Are we supposed to be pricing it at the level of international market? That's preposterous. If the crude is here in my backyard in Kokori, and you set up a refinery in Kokori, the extra cost of trucking this crude to Europe and back should be reduced. Let's then come on air, tell us how much is involved, all the logistics of taking crude out and bringing it back as petrol. Let's even have it in figure, so that we deduct it and know what the actual cost ought to be if it is refined here.
Look, with the situation we have now, that the Nigerians can't seem to get petrol, and where they get it, it's going for almost 300 naira in some places. What do you think should be done?
I think some people are not just doing their job. Because I enter a filling station, they are selling 300 naira in Delta State. And I said, 300 for what? He said they bought it as extra cost. That apart from the official cost, there are undercut dealings that took place, and they have to factor that into the cost. And that perhaps they get one truck in a week, and they are not sure when they get the next one. So issue of the group managing director going to chase jerrycan people on the road, on the street, that's not it. It is because there is a lacuna, there is a gap. There is a shortfall of supply. And he, the group managing director, should take responsibility for that. That didn't happen in the last 2 years.